Are you feeling overwhelmed by the uncertainty of the future or burdened by the multitude of responsibilities in your life? Excessive worry is something most of us grapple with from time to time. However, the Bible provides us with an important perspective on why we should not let anxiety take hold of us. In Matthew chapter 6, Jesus gives us 7 powerful reasons to let go of our worries and confidently rest in God. So come, take a break from all the stress and listen to what the Lord has to tell you today. The first reason is that the same God who gave us life can take care of the details of our lives. Matthew chapter 6, verse 25 to 26. God is the creator of the universe. Don't we trust that He can look after our everyday needs? He's all-powerful and all-knowing, aware of everything we need even before we ask. We can leave our worries in His hands, trusting in His providence and love for us. The second reason is also found in Matthew chapter 6, verse 26, using the example of birds. Worrying about the future makes it harder to focus on the present. When we're overwhelmed by worries, our attention and energy get consumed by negative scenarios instead of living for today. So what are you worried about? Food, clothes, drink? In today's world, our biggest concerns often revolve around material things, but Christ tells us not to be anxious about life's basic necessities. Life is about more than that. Living in constant worry about money we don't have is like being controlled by money instead of living under God's control. Living to serve God includes trusting that He'll provide what's needed without living in fear and anxiety. In Matthew chapter 6, verse 27, the third reason is that worrying is more harmful than helpful. Jesus asks, "And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life?" It's like a wake-up call because deep down, we know we're not in control. Have you ever looked back on tough times and thought, worrying really helped me get through that? Probably not. So why hurt ourselves with negative scenarios and intrusive thoughts that just hold us back and distance us from divine faith? The fourth reason, found in Matthew chapter 6, verse 28 to 30, is that God doesn't overlook those who depend on Him. He knows our needs before we even tell Him. We can trust that just as He provides for birds and flowers, He'll take care of His beloved children. There's no need to worry when God has already committed to looking out for us. Fifthly, Matthew chapter 6, verse 30 to 32 says that worrying shows a lack of faith and understanding of God. When we worry, it's like saying we don't really believe God can handle any situation or provide everything we need. It suggests a misunderstanding of His attributes, His all-powerful nature, love, and commitment to us. Do we doubt that He can provide for us, His children? Trusting Him frees us from worry because we know He won't abandon us. The sixth reason is in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33, and it's that worrying steers us away from the real challenges God wants us to face. Instead of wasting time on worries, He invites us to seek His kingdom and righteousness first, focusing on living according to His principles. He assures us that if we do that, He'll make sure we have everything we need. Finally, the seventh reason from Matthew chapter 6, verse 34, is that living one day at a time prevents us from being consumed by worry. By concentrating on the present moment that God has given us, we can leave the future in His hands, trusting that He will guide each step. Today's grace is for today's trials, and when tomorrow's trials come, God will have new grace waiting for you. Anxiety is like living in the future before it arrives. How can you stop worrying? Look at Jesus. No, really, look to Jesus. He sees, He knows, He cares. He's a compassionate high priest, and He will never leave you or forsake you. So if you're wrestling with anxiety, stressing about a specific need, let Christ's words bring you comfort today. The Father knows each of your needs, and certainly, like a good father, He will provide for you at the right time. Remember that He provided heavenly bread for His people in the desert, and they never lacked. Exodus 16. Recall that He brought water from the rock for the entire congregation to drink. Exodus 17. And remember that during the 40 years of wandering, the people's clothing and shoes never wore out. Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 5. Trust and wait on the Lord's providence. Seek His kingdom and righteousness first, and all your needs will be taken care of.